In the middle of the cold desert, far away from cities, there was a hidden underground research base. It had 7 levels. Each level had its own purpose, but level 7 was a mystery that no one was allowed to go there, not even the top guards. It was locked, silent, and always guarded. They said it was empty, but that was a lie. 17-year-old Ayla worked at the base. She was not a scientist or a soldier. She was just a cleaner. She cleaned floors, washed walls, and emptied trash. Her life was boring and quiet. She had no family. The government raised her inside the base. She had never seen the real world. Only fake images of it on screens. She always followed the rules. Until one day, something happened. It was late at night. Most workers were sleeping. Ayla was cleaning. Level 6. She was near the elevator when she heard a sound. A low growl, like an animal. She looked around. No one was there. She shook her head. Maybe she was just tired. Then, her ID card slipped from her pocket. It slid across the floor and fell through a small gap in the elevator door. "Great," she whispered. She pressed the call button. The elevator opened. Her ID card was lying just outside the open door. On level 7, the door should not have opened. It never did before. But now it was open. And no alarms were ringing. Ayla paused. Her heart beat faster. She should call security. She should run. But something pulled her forward. She stepped into the elevator. Pressed the button for level 7. The elevator shook. Then slowly, it went down. As the doors opened, cold air touched her skin. It was dark, silent, and smelled like burning metal. The hallway was long. Lights flickered. The walls were scratched. It didn't feel like the rest of the base. Ayla walked slowly. She followed the sound of something breathing. It was deep, strong, almost like a machine. Then she saw it. A giant creature, chained to the wall. Its body was covered in metal, and glowing scales. Wires were connected to its chest. Its eyes were bright blue and full of pain. It looked like a dragon, but it was alive. And it looked at her. Ayla froze. She couldn't move. The dragon didn't roar or attack. It just stared. She stepped closer. Its chains rattled. It growled, soft but warning. But Ayla didn't run. "Are you okay?" she asked. Of course, it didn't answer. She sat down. They looked at each other for minutes. Then the dragon moved one claw. It scratched a shape on the floor, a symbol. Ayla's eyes widened. She had seen that symbol before. On her arm. A birthmark she never understood. It was exactly the same. Narrator. The elevator beeped. Someone was coming. Ayla quickly ran back. She grabbed her ID card and stepped inside the elevator. The doors closed just in time. Her hands were shaking. What was that? She whispered to herself. That night, she couldn't sleep. She kept thinking about the dragon, about its eyes, about the symbol. Was it calling her? Was it waiting for her? She didn't know, but she knew one thing. She would go back. The next night, Ayla waited until everyone was asleep. She returned to level 7. This time, she brought food. She placed it on the ground and stepped back. The dragon sniffed it. Then slowly, it ate. Ayla smiled. Day by day, she returned. She brought more food. She cleaned the dragon's wounds. She talked to it, even if it didn't talk back. And every night, she wondered, why was it locked here? Who put it here? And why? Did they lie to everyone? One night, something changed. The dragon stood up. It stared at Ayla, and this time, it opened its mouth. A voice entered her mind. Not loud, not clear, but it said one word, Skyboard. Ayla stepped back. What did you say? The dragon pointed to her arm, and then to itself. The meaning was clear. They were connected. That night, Ayla found an old file in the storage room. It was dusty and broken. But one page was still readable. It said, Project Skyborn Subject 2, Ayla. Purpose, unknown. Her hands trembled. Subject? She whispered. I'm part of a project? She looked back at the dark hallway. Toward level 7. This was only the beginning. Asterisk narrator. Ayla had not spoken a word all day. She moved through the halls like a ghost, cleaning floors, avoiding people. Her eyes were open. But her mind was still on level 7. She could still hear it. Not the dragon's voice. The whisper. Narrator Kalan. The first time it happened, she thought it was her imagination. A soft sound in her head like wind through wires. But then it said her name. Ayla. No mouth had moved. No sound had been spoken. But she heard it, and she knew exactly who it came from. Narrator. That night, Ayla sat on her bed, holding a small metal shard she had picked up from level 7. It was warm. Almost alive. She stared at her arm, at the strange symbol that matched. The one the dragon had drawn. The same one in the file that called her Subject 2. Who am I? She whispered to herself. No answer came. But the whisper returned. Not who they told you. Ayla returned to level 7 again, but this time she brought more than food. She brought a broken translator chip she had stolen from the tech room. She sat across from the dragon, watching its eyes. I don't know if this will work, she said. Placing the chip on the floor, the dragon tilted its head. Try, she said. The dragon opened its mouth. This time, the voice was clearer, passing through the device. You hear me now? Ayla jumped. The voice was deep, calm, and full of pain. Yes, she said. I can hear you. For the first time they spoke. The dragon's name was Kelthur. He was older than the base, older than Earth's modern cities. He called himself a guardian. Then, why are you in chains? Ayla asked. Kelthur looked away. They feared me. They broke the sky, locked me here. He tapped the wall with his claw. You are not like them. The next day, Ayla searched the base's old files. She broke into a forgotten data room. Most files were deleted. But some remained, half-burned, corrupted, lost in time. One showed a young girl, floating inside a pot of blue liquid. It was her. Her eyes were closed. Wires were inside her head. The file read, Project Skyborn Subject 2, Female Clone. Neural key pattern active. Ayla stepped back. I'm not real, she whispered. Narrator Kalan. That night, the whispers came stronger. Not just one voice. Many machines. Metal. Codes. Dreams. They spoke in her sleep. They showed her images. A battle in the stars. Fire falling from the sky. A dragon and a girl fighting side by side. When she woke up, her nose was bleeding, but her hands were glowing. She ran to Kelthur. What's happening to me? She asked. He looked at her for a long moment. Your body is human, but your mind was built from stardust. He stepped closer. You are the key, Ayla. The lock is not just these chains. He pointed to the ceiling. The lock is this whole base. Ayla began to notice strange things. Machines responded to her before she touched them. Doors unlocked when she walked past. And the scientists. They were watching her now. Whispers followed her outside level 7. But this time, they weren't just in her head. She's waking up. It's too early. Terminate the dragon, now. She knew her time was running out. They were planning something. The next night, Kelthur was silent. He had not spoken for hours. Then, slowly, he raised one wing and pointed to the far wall. Ayla looked. A red light was blinking. She ran closer and found a small warning panel. Subject determination, 24 hours. Her blood ran cold. They're going to kill you. Kelthur's eyes dimmed. They fear what I could become with you. Ayla stepped back, breathing hard. They'll kill me too. Suddenly, the metal shard in her pocket heated up. She pulled it out. It was glowing bright blue. Kelthor's chains rattled. The walls shook slightly. The dragon raised his head. "You can stop this. Only you." Ayla closed her eyes. The voices returned, clearer now. "Unlock the truth. You were made for more. Free him. And you free yourself." Ayla opened her eyes for the first time. She didn't feel afraid. She felt something else. Purpose. She turned to Kelthor. "I don't know what I am, but I know this." She touched the wall panel. "I won't let you die." Outside level 7. Silent alarms began to blink. A security guard tapped his headset. "We have movement on level 7. In the control room, 6 screens blinked red. Security guards leaned forward, confused. One muttered, "That door shouldn't be open." Another screen flashed. "Unauthorized access. Level 7 subject contact detected. Behind the glass." A man in a white coat watched silently. He had no name badge. Only a black symbol on his neck. He smiled. "She's finally waking up." Ayla didn't sleep, not because she was scared, but because her mind was no longer quiet. She heard codes, shapes, even colors. Her fingers twitched like they were typing in her sleep. Her eyes glowed for seconds at a time. When she looked in the mirror, she didn't feel human. Not anymore. At breakfast, no one spoke to her. The other workers looked away. The hall felt colder. She felt eyes watching her from every camera, every vent. As she dumped her tray, a cleaner near her whispered, "They said you're one of them." "An experiment." Ayla froze. "How do you know that?" The girl leaned closer. "You were made in the Skyborn project. You're not the first, but maybe you're the last." Before Ayla could ask more, the girl walked away. She would never see her again. That night, Ayla returned to Kelthor. But the door didn't open. Her hand hovered near the scanner. The moment she touched it, the wall melted open. Kelthor raised his head. "You're changing. I don't want to," Ayla whispered. "It was never your choice," he replied. "But now, it's your power." Ayla stepped closer to his chains. "What are these made of?" "Not metal, not from your Earth." He turned his head slightly. "But you can break them." She stared at him. "Me? You were created for it. To bind or to free." Ayla pulled the translator chip from her pocket again. She connected it to the wall's hidden port. She typed one word into the system, "Skyborn." The screen flickered. A file opened. Ayla's name. A number. #02. And a line. Primary function. Neural key. Unlocks Guardian-class bioweapon systems. Her hands trembled. "I'm not a person to them. I'm just a key." Kelthor's voice was soft now. "But keys open doors, and you're not alone." Suddenly, footsteps echoed in the hall. Ayla grabbed the shard from her pocket. The lights flickered. Guards. "At least 3. She turned to Kelthor. "I need to hide you." "You can't hide what's already feared." The lights went dark. Then red. The door exploded inward. Guards stormed in with rifles. Laser sights flashed across the room. "Step away from the subject." One shouted. Ayla didn't move. She looked down at her hand. It was glowing blue again. One guard raised his weapon, just an inch too high. In that second, Ayla raised her palm. The air shimmered. The gun melted. Everyone froze. Kelthor roared, not loud, but deep. A sound like thunder trapped under the earth. Ayla's eyes glowed now fully. Brightly. She wasn't afraid anymore. The lead guard dropped his weapon. "She's active," he muttered. Ayla looked at him. "Active? Skyborn protocol. Initiated," he said. "They'll be coming now." "Who?" "The ones who built you." Back in the control room, alarms screamed. The man with the black neck symbol stared at the screen. He placed one finger on a glass switch. "Stage 2, he said. "Open the memory vault." Another screen came alive. A recording. A baby, floating in a lab tank. eyes glowing. A dragon curled around her. The file name, subject 2, neural link, success. Ailey sat in silence beside Kelthar. Do you know what they're planning? She asked. They want to control you, use me, and break everything that still stands. She clenched her fists. They said I was made to unlock you. To control you. No, Kelthar replied. You were made to choose. Ayla stood. Then I choose this, she said. She raised her hand to the wall panel. Override, Skyborn. A light scanned her arm. Chains cracked. Metal groaned. And for the first time in 100 years, Kelthar moved freely. The base shook. Sirens wailed. Across the desert, hidden satellites blinked awake. In space, something massive turned. The war hadn't begun yet, but the key had turned, and now the door was opening. Asterisk in the dark ceiling of space, far above the earth. A machine blinked awake. It hadn't moved in 117 years. Now it turned toward Earth's moon. It whispered 2 words through static signals. Subject breach. Back underground. Alarms screamed. The lights on every level of the base turned blood red. Doors locked. Guns activated. Defense protocols ran wild. And in the heart of Level 7, a girl stood beside a dragon. As his chains shattered like glass, Ayla couldn't feel her legs. Power pulsed through her spine like electricity. Her vision blurred. Her heart raced. She had just broken something no human had ever touched. Kelthar stepped forward, not with rage, but silence. He looked at her. The lock is broken. Now the world will notice. Up above, soldiers ran through the halls. Seal the lower levels. Do not let Subject 2 reach the surface. A man in the command room stared at the blinking red map. She's not escaping, he said coldly. She's activating. Narrator. Ayla and Kelthar moved fast through the base. The walls seemed to change for her, doors unlocking. Lights flickering in her path. What is this place really? She asked. Kelthar's wings twitched, half damaged. A lab. A prison. And once, a temple. They passed old rooms with symbols on the walls, not human symbols. Ayla reached out to one. It glowed under her touch. Memories she never lived flashed in her mind. Stars. War. A promise. You are not just human, Kelthar whispered. You are a blueprint of memory. They reached the elevator shaft, but it was sealed shut. Before Ayla could react, a voice echoed behind them. You really thought they wouldn't track you? Ayla turned. Her friend, Kira, the same girl who once helped her clean floors, now wore black armor. Kira? Ayla stepped back. You were never just a janitor, Kira said. And I was never just your friend. She raised a small device. Your freedom ends here. Kelthar growled, but Ayla raised a hand. She stepped forward. Why are you doing this? Kira's face didn't change. I was created to watch. You're unstable, dangerous. I'm not a weapon. Ayla shouted. No, Kira said. You're a key. But you were never supposed to turn. Kira pressed the button. Energy surged toward Ayla, but something in her snapped open. Ayla raised her hands, instinct taking over. The blast bent around her like wind around stone. Behind her, the elevator doors cracked open. Kelthar lunged forward, roaring, but Ayla stopped him. Don't kill her, she said. She doesn't understand. They stepped into the elevator. Kira was still conscious, but her eyes were full of fear now. Where will you go? She asked. There's nowhere safe. Ayla looked up. Then I'll build my own place. As the elevator rose, Ayla whispered, we were made in secret, but we don't belong in cages. Above ground, the night sky was not a sky. It was metal. A massive dome covered the entire base like a false world. Ayla stepped out and looked around. This isn't Earth. Kelthar nodded. You've never been on Earth. Ayla's breath caught. Then, where are we? Kelther pointed to the stars beyond the cracks in the dome. A prison moon, built to hide what the Earth fears most. Sirens grew louder. Ships activated on launch pads. Ayla looked at her hands, still glowing faintly. What am I supposed to do? Kelther raised his wings. Awaken what they tried to bury. They ran across long steel roads, past broken towers, toward the ancient launch ring. The old systems came to life as Ayla touched the control panel. Dust blew off forgotten screens. The ship inside the hangar lit up tall, sleek, humming with light. It recognized her. Welcome, Commander Skyborn. Ayla turned to Kelther. You coming? The dragon smiled, in the way only he could. I was always yours to ride. As the ship powered up, a voice echoed in every speaker across the base. Warning, Skyborn protocol breach. Guardian-class threat. Initiate planetary alert. Far above the stars, silent machines began to move. One of them had eyes dotted open. Narrator. As the ship lifted into the sky, breaking through the dome. Ayla saw the real stars for the very first time. She didn't cry, she didn't speak, but deep inside, something whispered. You were never the prisoner. You were always the spark. The ship broke through the dome like a knife through ice. Metal rained down. Alarms shrieked behind them. Ayla gripped the controls, breath sharp, eyes wide. The stars stretched in all directions. Cold, beautiful, endless. She had never seen them before. Kelther crouched beside her in the cockpit, his wings folded, his gaze locked on the view ahead. This isn't Earth, Ayla murmured. No, Kelther replied. This is what they built when they lost it. The words sank deep into her chest. She turned to the screen. A cracked hologram flickered to life. Location, Moon Prison Station 09 status. Escape detected Earth. Signal blocked external terrain. Unstable. I was born here. She whispered. You were made here. Kelther corrected. The screen went dark. The ship trembled. Something outside had activated. Below them, the false ground split open. Towers rose from the cracks like metal bones. Turrets unfolded, pointing at the sky. Missiles launched. Incoming! Ayla shouted. Kelther's body shifted. His scales hardened into armor, and blue light pulsed beneath his wings. Let me out, he said. I'll handle them. Are you sure? I was born for war. The hatch opened. Kelther shot into the black sky like a streak of fire. Ayla pulled the ship upward, dodging blasts. The whole moon shook behind her, not just from the weapons. The station was collapsing, or waking up. Far in the distance, a massive object floated in orbit. Not a moon. Not a base. A ship. No lights. No signals. Dead. Oyl. I stared at it as she brought the ship closer. It was shaped like a claw, split in half. Its surface was scarred by fire. On its hull, one word still remained, faded but visible. Skywar Boron. The symbol on her arm burned faintly. This was mine. She landed the ship near the wreck. The doors opened. Silence greeted her. Cold metal and wind. Kelther landed beside her. His wings were cracked, but his eyes burned with fire. They tried to erase it, he said, but it remembers you. Inside the wreck, gravity pulled strangely. Lights blinked. Shadows moved across the walls like ghosts. Ayla ran her fingers along the panel. It lit up under her touch. A child's voice echoed in the air. Hello, Commander Ayla. Welcome home. She froze. That voice, I remember it. It was your guide, Kelther said. You were never alone here. Deeper inside, she found a room with floating chairs and broken glass walls. A control ring rose in the center, scanning her body. Neural pattern, match. DNA integrity, 92%. Command access granted. Screens burst to life. Footage played. A Young Ayla, younger than she remembered, flying the ship. Laughing. Fighting beside Kelthur. Training with others who looked like her. Others. Clones. All gone now. A file loaded itself on screen. Project Skyborn. Terminated reason. Rebellion. They tried to delete us, she said quietly. Kelthur stood beside her. And when that failed? He added, they buried you. Ayla turned to face him. But why me? Why leave me alive? Kelthur's eyes dimmed. Because only you could stop them. Or finish what they started. The screens shifted. A new alert pulsed. Warning, contact detected. New ship had entered orbit, sleek, black, silent. It bore no flags, no name, just a signal. Return the Guardian, or Earth burns. Ayla stared at the message, jaw clenched. They're afraid of you. Kelthur shook his head slowly. No, Ayla, they're afraid of us. Lights in the broken ship turned blue. Energy surged through. The floor. The wreck was not dead. It was sleeping. Waiting for her. Ayla stepped into the command ring. The ship's voice returned. Commander, activate final protocol? She looked at Kelthur. He nodded once. Yes, she said. Final protocol. Awaken the Skyborn. Metal groaned. The ship's wings began to unfold. Engines that had not burned in a century roared back to life. And Ayla felt like herself for the first time. Far above. The enemy ship turned, its weapons charged. War was coming, and Ayla Skyborn was no longer running. Asterisk. Red light poured into the cockpit. Ayla didn't blink. The enemy ship filled the screen, sleek. Silent, black as space itself. No windows. No crew. Just eyes glowing red sensors that watched her through metal and silence. They're scanning us, she said. Kelthur growled low beside her, crouched like a predator on the edge of launch. They already know who we are. The console beeped. Incoming signal. Voice override. Class Alpha Authority. A woman's face appeared. Pale. Hair like ice. Eyes like stone. Ayla, you were not supposed to wake up. Ayla didn't answer. The woman's voice stayed calm. Return the Guardian. Surrender your vessel, or Earth falls. Kelthur's wings unfolded slowly. She lies. Ayla's fingers hovered over the console. How many of us were there? She asked. The woman's face flickered. Enough to learn from our mistakes. The screen shattered. The first blast hit them like a hammer. Ayla's ship spun. Lights burst. Shields screamed. Kelthur roared and leapt from the hatch, his body glowing with ancient fire. Ayla gritted her teeth and pulled the ship up. This time, she said, we fight back. Space twisted as ships tore through black sky. Unmanned drones with serrated wings, thousands of them, moving like insects with a single mind. Kelthur tore through them, claws blazing, fire burning in zero gravity. His body danced between stars, wings folding and striking like blades. He wasn't just surviving, he was remembering. Ayla flew through debris, her hands moving faster than thought. The ship responded to her like a living thing. Missiles curved toward her. She curved around them. Two drones locked on. She flipped the ship and activated the hull charge. Blue fire burst out in a perfect ring. The drones fried before they hit. Behind her, the ancient wreck ship, now alive, began to move. It wasn't fast, but it was powerful. Its remaining cannons unfolded like giant limbs. Its lights turned white-blue. Ayla's own ship buzzed with energy, pulled into sync with its parent core. From the distance, a new wave approached. Not drones. 3 black cruisers. Each carried enough firepower to destroy a city. Inside the command ship, the ice-haired woman watched Ayla's ship glow brighter and brighter. She's accelerating. A soldier spoke behind her. She's sinking with the Guardian core. She shouldn't be able to, but she is. Kelthur dove back into the cockpit, battered but breathing fire. They're bringing cruisers. Ayla's hands were bleeding from gripping the console too tight. "Good," she said. "We'll give them something to remember." The command ring expanded, wrapping around Isla's body. Metal plates hovered, spun, and locked into her back like armor. Her veins lit up. Her voice echoed through the ship. "All Skyborne systems, online." The wreck ship responded. Its broken limbs snapped into place. One wing reformed. Engines roared to life. And Ayla floated in the command core, half human, half machine, all fury. A single order left her lips: engage. Space became war. The wreck ship fired beams that split cruisers in half. Kelthar covered the gaps, burning drones from the air. Ayla saw the enemy trying to retreat. She didn't let them. Her ship punched through their shields. Explosions bloomed in the dark, but the enemy had one more move. The ice-haired woman pressed a hidden key. Below Earth's orbit, something large uncloaked, a massive satellite cannon. Old, rusted, still alive. "Target, Skyborne Core." Ayla gasped. "They're targeting this moon." "They'll destroy the base," Kelthar warned. "They'll destroy us," she whispered. "And everything we are." The satellite began to charge. 20 seconds. Kelthar stared into the fire. "There's only one way to stop it." Ayla's voice cracked. "No, you know I'm right." She shook her head. "There has to be another way." 15 seconds. Kelthar stepped closer. "If I enter their cannon, I can overload it from the inside. You'll die." "I was already dead." 10 seconds. "I can't lose you." He leaned closer. "You're not losing me." He touched her chest with one claw. "You're becoming me." 5 seconds. Kelthar flew. His wings caught starlight. One last time. He vanished into the mouth of the satellite. The cannon powered down. Then exploded from within. A silent bloom of light in the void. Ayla collapsed inside the ship, heart racing. Silence. Returned to space. The enemy fleet gone. The wreck drifting. Her dragon gone. And yet the fire inside her chest still burned. Ayla stood alone at the edge of the launch bay, her armor flickering with dying light. Stars shimmered above. Silence stretched below. Kelthar was gone, but the mark on her palm still glowed dim, steady, as if part of him had stayed behind. Wreck ship hovered behind her, quiet now, waiting. One last signal pulsed across her screen. Coordinates received. Final destination, Earth. She closed her eyes. "Take me home." The ship burned through black space for 3 days, without stopping. No voice. No contact. No enemy. Just Earth, growing larger on the screen. Blue and green and scarred with cities. When the clouds broke open, Ayla saw the truth. There were no stars above this version of Earth. Only ships. Hundreds. Dark, controlled, watching. Earth had become a Skyles's prison, just like the one she escaped. Ayla landed in the ruins of what was once Paris. Half-buried towers leaned like broken teeth. Old monuments lay in silence. She stepped out into wind and dust. Her boots hit soil for the first time. Real ground, real gravity. She knelt and touched the earth, and whispered, "Free." Finally. A siren echoed through the valley. Metal doors rose from the ground. Drones emerged, not to kill. To scan. A voice boomed overhead. "State your designation." Ayla looked up. "I am Skyborne. Authorization code?" She raised her hand. The symbol on her palm flared to life. Machines froze. Gates opened. They let her through. The capital was not what she expected. It was underground. An entire city built beneath fear. Clean, bright, silent. People in uniforms watched her pass, not with awe, but with calculation. At the center stood a tower of glass. Inside it, the council waited. 12 figures in perfect robes, each older than time. Each with a name she had never been told. One of them stepped forward. "You were not supposed to survive." She didn't speak. Another step closer. You were our greatest design. You still are. Ayla clenched her fists. You built me to control a dragon, to command a weapon, to win a war we couldn't face. She raised her head. You lost that war the moment you built me. The lights dimmed. A projection unfolded behind them. Stars, systems, planets burning. The council's voice grew colder. A new threat is coming. You've seen what they did to Kelther's world. Earth is next. Ailey stared at the screen, unblinking. You didn't protect Earth, she said. You caged it. One figure stepped forward, a face she remembered. Woman with the ice-white hair. You can save it. Lead the Skyborn. Restart the program. Be what we made you to be. Ayla stepped toward her, close enough to hear her breathing. I already am. She raised her hand. The floor cracked. The light changed. Behind her, the wreck ship powered up again, buried beneath the city the whole time. Now responding to her call. Sirens screamed. People ran. The council backed away. The ice-haired woman didn't flinch. You would destroy your only home? Ayla smiled, not cruelly, but like someone finally waking up. This was never my home. It was my shell. The ground burst open. The wreck ship rose through steel and sky. Drones turned their weapons. Too late. One by one, they dropped from the air. Not by force, but by choice. Her signal had gone global. Around the world, machines reconnected to the Skyborn signal, and they chose her. From the clouds above, something fell. Not a weapon, a flame, a streak of blue fire. Wings. Kale single quotes. Tar. Hold. Alive. He landed beside her like thunder given form. She didn't run to him. She just smiled. You came back. His voice echoed through her mind. You called. Together, they rose into the sky. Above cities. Above silence. Above the old world. People watched from below. Not afraid. Hopeful. For the first time in a century, the sky opened. And the Skyborn led, not as a weapon, not as a key, but as a fire that could not be caged.